Established on July 8, 1963, our institute IDACA celebrates its 50th anniversary in 2013. After World War II, IDACA's first president, Yasushi Hasumi, called for efforts to promote agricultural cooperatives with the purpose of stabilizing and improving the financial situation of farmers, thereby helping contribute to the peace and prosperity of Asian countries. Based on this idea, IDACA was established through financial contributions from Japanese agricultural cooperatives with the support of the Japanese government. Since then, it has been endeavoring to develop human resources who can play central roles in the development of agricultural cooperatives, not only in developing countries in Asia, but also in other parts of the world. So far, 5,870 people from 115 countries have been trained in our institute. Many former participants have been making great contributions to the development of agricultural cooperatives. The 1960s was a time when various training programs evolved. In fact, the first training course, known as the General Course on Agricultural Cooperatives under the Colombo Plan, began in 1963, and the training course designed for South Koreans was also held in the same year. In 1965, based on the Japan-Thai Maize Agreement project, participants from Thailand attended the training course. In the following year, 1966, the Agricultural Training Course for Brazilian Cooperatives and IDACA-sponsored Training for Indian Cooperators were launched. In 1969, the Northeast Asia Plan Agricultural Cooperative Training Course for South Korea and Taiwan was initiated. Since 1968, the RECA seminars commenced under contract with the Afro-Asian Rural Reconstruction Organization. In 1973, celebrating its 10th anniversary, IDACA embarked on expansion and renovation of its facilities in a bid to improve its system for accommodating an increasing number of participants. It was around that time that the project-based training course geared toward rural development in developing countries and the training course for selected countries began under the sponsorship of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries. Besides various training programs, the news bulletin, IDACA News, was published in May 1971 to strengthen public relations activities as a conduit between participants and the Institute. To date, 99 newsletters have been published. With rapid changes in socio-economic conditions and the surrounding environment over the course of 20 years, IDACA's facilities were dilapidated and in need of extensive renovations. Facing that situation, in 1986, IDACA relocated its offices from Setagaya Ward in Tokyo to a location near Mount Takao in a suburb of Tokyo surrounded by beautiful greenery. In 1992, with IDACA activities well recognized internationally, both IDACA and J.A. Zenshu were awarded for the substantial contributions that they had made to the growth of agricultural cooperatives in Asia at the 30th International Cooperative Alliance, ICA, conference. The 1990s became the decade when IDACA's value was recognized worldwide. In the first decade of the new millennium, as South Korea and Taiwan graduated from our training courses and Thailand and Malaysia became semi-developed countries, there was a change in the countries to be invited to IDACA. Participants from countries along the Mekong River such as Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, as well as countries in Africa, have been increasing rapidly. Since 2010, a Japanese version of the news bulletin IDACA Dayori has been published. It is designed mainly for domestic readers in an effort to make IDACA's activities better known locally. Agriculture in Asian countries, which we aimed to support, was said to be 60 years behind Japan at the time when our institute was established. However, that gap has been narrowed over the years, although the stages of development differ by country. We are not saying that IDACA is the only contributing factor, but this progress and development is what we are striving for. Currently, we are working in cooperation with ICA, JICA, and other international organizations, offering various training programs to nurture human resources for the development of agricultural cooperatives. The training for ICA includes training course on fostering core leaders of agricultural cooperatives, training course on revitalization of local community by rural women, training course on quality and safety management of farm products. The training course for JICA includes training course on strengthening management and business activities of agricultural cooperatives, training course on planning of agricultural policy, and training course on implementation and promotion of agribusiness for African countries. On top of these training courses, we also offer training programs responding to requests stemming from agricultural cooperatives from related organizations in Japan and other countries centering on Asian countries. It is inspiring to communicate with people from other countries through training. It's not just one-way teaching, but we can also learn about the origins of agriculture from people from other countries that we are working with. Teaching each other is the essence of cooperatives, and our institute has been committed to functioning in that way internationally. Field study visits create everlasting fond memories for the participants. We would like to heartily thank those involved, centering on the JA Group personnel who have so warmly received them during training. We are now facing a difficult environment. As the fiscal budget of the government is getting smaller and smaller, it is likely that the ODA budget will be further reduced in the future. Under such circumstances, we are compelled to shift target countries to those countries along the Mekong River and African countries where the need to develop agricultural cooperatives has been increasing. Here are some complimentary words of gratitude from former participants of those countries.
I'm very grateful.
Please accept my sincere congratulations on the 50th anniversary of your foundation. I'd like to convey my hearty gratitude to IDACA for offering various types of training courses beneficial for agricultural cooperatives and useful to enhance the livelihoods of farmers around the world for the past several years, especially so for us ASEAN countries. Also, I highly appreciate IDACA staff for their kind support during our stay in Japan. Congratulations on the 50th anniversary of the founding of IDACA. I gained a lot of useful information and knowledge about the agricultural cooperatives system in Japan. The progress of the agricultural cooperative movement, which I learned in IDACA's program, has been very helpful in promoting cooperatives in Thailand. There are still a number of developing cooperatives in the world, not to mention in African countries. I truly feel that training courses offered here in IDACA would be very beneficial for strengthening those cooperatives. I will make my best efforts to disseminate the knowledge I gained here at IDACA to farmers and those who work in the cooperative sector, which I hope would contribute to eradicating poverty in my country. Finally, I wish for further progress of IDACA in the future. Since its foundation, IDACA has been able to develop its activities for over 50 years, half a century. However, it would not have been possible without the support and cooperation of the JA Group, the Japanese government, JICA, ICA, other international organizations, and so on. In an age when the ups and downs of enterprises are often talked about as a matter of course, the fact that IDACA has been able to survive until now as an organization for more than half a century is proof of the organizational power of the JA Group. Moreover, it's safe to say that this was made possible by the deep insight of the late President Yasushi Hasumi, who could look ahead into the future with clear vision and create such a clear identity since its establishment. While keeping the basic philosophy from its inception intact and also adapting to the changing needs of society flexibly, we at IDACA are fully committed to acting as an organization for education and exchange of agricultural cooperatives, not just for Asia, but also for the whole world in the future.